Oh, he's on the right, he's on the right, he's on the left, he's on the left. Oh. I will be ranting about one of the biggest and fastest growing industries, the video game industry. Not only is the video game industry going to surpass $300 billion by 2025, but it will also have over 2.5 billion gamers all over the world. For the last several decades, home console gaming was traditionally categorized by a war of sorts, with every new generation of hardware that was released. The Super Nintendo took on Sega Genesis head-to-head, the PlayStation came out top over the Nintendo 64, and the current rivalry between the Microsoft Xbox and the Sony PlayStation. I personally grew up on video games, with my first console being the Super Nintendo. I was not Team Sega Genesis. And from then on, that one console changed my life forever. I bought every console as they came out down the line and experienced the evolution of gaming firsthand. From the early Nintendo controllers that currently look like the wireless charging pads, to our physical bodies now becoming the controller for the game. So today, in light of the release of the PS5 and the Xbox X series upcoming this holiday season, I will highlight how and why gaming has boomed exponentially in the past decade, what gaming will look like in the next decade, and what that could mean for you. I will also be giving you my 3 look-fors for deciding on which console to buy to get more bang for your buck. So on that note, hi everyone, and welcome back to Another Jacob Rant. I am Jacob Rant, and this is my channel where I post original videos of my rants, give personal advice, and provide intelligent content that questions social narratives and the world that we live in. And not only this, but at some point in the videos, I announce a new challenge for you to try in the comfort of your own home. It usually has nothing to do with the rant, sometimes it does, but it is simply to give yourself a special break from your day-to-day routine. Whether it is a personal challenge, a physical challenge, or a practical challenge, it will always be a challenge that will surely benefit you. So make sure you stay at the end of every video that I post and go ahead and subscribe and click on the bell and notification button to get my latest videos and challenges, and don't forget to pew pew that like button. Now, video games have been around for decades, providing entertainment for children and adults all around the world. They have evolved significantly from the early days of computer games, Nintendo and Atari, to submersing your mind, body, into the game. The days of fudgy pixelated screens and limited sounds are no more, as video games have become more lifelike than ever. As technology continues to improve, so do video games. It was once unthinkable to sink millions of dollars into developing a game, but today games can cost tens and even hundreds of millions of dollars to develop. This has pushed game development into Hollywood movie territory in terms of production and marketing costs. In fact, the video game sector is larger than the movie and music industry combined, and it is only growing. Although it doesn't get the same attention that the movie and music industry does, there are over 2 billion gamers across the world, which accounts for 26% of the world's population. Now, how was the video game industry able to capture a quarter of the population of the world? Well, there are many factors that are contributing to the popularity of video games, including gameplay, technological advancements, storylines, characters, and so on. However, the main factor I believe that video games have become popular now more compared to when I was growing up is the access and the stigma. Access has been a major tool because it has allowed anyone and everyone to play video games, from the avid gamer with a custom PC built to the retired grandma playing Angry Birds on her smartphone. When I was growing up, the only way you could play video games was either going to the arcade, owning a console, or having a friend that owned a console. And even then, you hoped that they had a second controller. Tablets, smartphones, and all these high-tech devices were not available during my time, and the internet was not as reliable and widespread as it is now. And even if the internet was reliable and widespread, game developers were not developing games that required the internet at the time. The second major factor that I think is a main contributor to the rise of video game popularity is the access of affordability.
What do you mean affordability? So expensive. Even the new ones are costing over $500.
Now, before you all start jumping up and down, screaming that the current consoles are not affordable and can hit over $500 after all the accessories have been bought, and the average individual actually spends over $1,000 when everything is said and done. But that is not what I am hinting at. I am stating the fact that once you make that initial investment purchasing the console and all the necessary accessories, it is possible to never have to buy games again.
What do you mean, Jacob Rant? How can I just play free games?
Well, there are two ways that you can play free games on your Xbox or your Sony. The first is a membership style way of playing free games. For a small monthly fee, Xbox and Sony console users can download and play hundreds of games for free as long as they are under the membership. And if you did decide to buy a game from their collection, you will get a deeper discount compared to if you went and bought it from retail. Now, the second way to play free games is to play games that are labeled free to play. Common sense, of course. But they are games that are free to download and play with the basics. However, the only time that you do pay is for in-game purchases. So things like such as special items or special equipment and so on. These games include many of the App Store games such as Angry Birds, Fortnite, and the new popular one, Call of Duty Warzone. With these two examples of what gaming is becoming, it shows that there has been a shift in revenue sources. The gaming industry used to make most of its money by selling games, but today its revenue is coming from multiple avenues, including in-game purchases, membership plans, esports competition, and live streaming on platforms such as Twitch. With the ability to be able to game from anywhere and across multiple devices, video games has been accepted by the mainstream public as part of our daily lives and not stigmatized as a hobby for the unproductive and lazy individual. This leads me to my next point. Stigma. The social stigma around people who play video games is generally negative. There are many stereotypes associated with being a gamer, and it is often common for people to choose to hide the fact that they play video games. When one pictures gamer in their head, they think of the basement-dwelling, neck-bearded, probably fat or lanky, and unhealthy male. While sometimes this image may appear to be true, the demographic of gamers has drastically changed over time. As you can see from this graph, 65% of American adults play video games and 52% are college educated, and more than half do not play on a traditional console. This next graph shows the breakdown of the gender and age groups of those who play video games, and it shows that almost 30% of men and women combined between the ages of 18 and 35 are the main demographics of gamers, while the average female gamer is 37 and the average male gamer is 33. This also shows that this age group is also the age group that was raised during the beginning of the video game era in the 90s, and now that they are older and have disposable income, they are able to game like never before. And to continue the gaming lifestyle cycle, gamers in this age group will most likely expose their children to video games at a young age, thus creating another generation of gamers, which in turn causing the gamer stigma to slowly fade away. Fading away, fading away. Now, I know that the holiday season is right around the corner, and this is when the video game industry heavily pushes their games and consoles. So here are look-fors when choosing the right console for you. 1. Cost. Cost is the number one look for you need to consider. If your budget is $1,000 for everything all in for your new console, make sure you know what you are buying and how much it will cost. Other than the purchase of your console, there are other things you may need to buy before you actually game. These accessories are not always cheap. For example, if I buy my console for $500, I may need to buy an extra controller. I may need to buy an extra charger or a wireless charger or a wired charger. I may need to buy a game or two, and if I am going online, I will need to purchase an online membership subscription, maybe a pair of headphones if I want to communicate online. And if a game requires that I buy a camera, guess what? I am buying a camera. After taxes and any other fees, there is a chance it may go above the budget. Do not go over your budget. Shop around for better prices, wait for a sale, or you can't go wrong with a pre-owned console. 2. Performance. The next look for is to consider the performance. Although the next gen consoles are identical when it comes to specifications, it is not only the performance of the console that you need to look for, but also what the console will be plugged in. The television. For example, by spending a couple hundred more, you may get a console that plays 4K graphics at 60 frames per second. But do you really need 4K graphics if your television is not 4K compatible? Or is 1080p or even 720p sufficient for your gaming? Can you even tell the difference between 30 frames per second and 60 frames per second? If you said no to both of these questions, then there is no need for you to buy the top of the line version of your console. The base model can still do an excellent job. 3. Games. Now, every console has its own library of games. Consoles also have exclusive games and game series that cannot be played on other consoles, such as Halo for Microsoft Xbox, Super Mario for Nintendo, and The Last of Us for Sony PlayStation. And it's not only just the exclusive games, but also how the games are played, ranging from how the controller feels in your hand to the recent backward compatibility feature offered by some consoles. For those that don't know, backward compatibility is when you're able to play older games from the older consoles on the newer consoles. So if I had the original Xbox, I'm able to play some of their games, or if I had the Xbox 360, I can play some of their games on the current Xbox One. And when the Xbox X series comes out, then you can play those games and the Xbox One games on that console as well. And 4, my bonus tip, the online and media capabilities and support. Now, most consoles offer online support. Both the cost and what is included varies based on the membership and the console. Some memberships include 24/7 telephone support. Also, if you are going to play a lot, you will want the best customer service available, a stable server, no downtime, and of course, great cloud storage. And on the media aspect, consoles can be used for more than just gaming. If you enjoy listening to music, watching videos, or online streams of Twitch between your gaming sessions, you are going to want to know what is supported on your console and what is not. So that way you don't have to pay extra for what you may or may not need. But by knowing what you actually need from your console, you can save not only money, but also time and regret. By using these 4 suggestions to look for when buying a console, you will make a better informed decision that will hopefully satisfy your gaming needs. But overall, my breakdown of the consoles is as follows. PlayStation, in my opinion, is great for exclusive gaming. Nintendo Switch is excellent for kids and younger adults or young teens or those who like the brain challenging games. And the Xbox One or the Xbox Series is great overall, both as a gaming console and as a multimedia center. And where will gaming go in the next decade? Well, by looking at the patterns and the trends of video games and how they have evolved, it is safe to say that we will eventually be one with the game. According to WePC, 88% of the total revenue generated by the video game industry in 2017 came not from the consoles themselves, but from the games that people play. And thanks to the internet, cross-platform multiplayer gaming is actually becoming quite popular. And it's easy to see how over the last few years, the consoles have become less important than the games themselves. There may very well come a day where the consoles themselves essentially become a thing of the past. And over the next decade, we'll finally hit a point where nearly anyone could be a gamer, regardless of their age, their gender, or their demographic factors. And mobile gaming, such as those played on a tablet or a smartphone, will become the main device for gaming, and virtual reality gaming will be the other alternative. Mobile for gaming on the go, virtual reality for submersed games. Simply put, gaming is here to stay. The industry itself will continue to grow and evolve, and when you consider just how far the industry has come since the 90s and how much innovation and creativity has arisen as a result, it's clear that gaming will soon be a part of our frequent entertainment. And that leads us right to our challenge of the day. So today's challenge is, did you win? Or did you lose? I want you to either think about it if you know, or write down whether or not you accomplished what you set out to do 10 years ago. Think about why or why not you accomplished these goals. And next, think of what you would like to accomplish in the next 10 years. It does not have to be detailed goals, but a bigger picture of what you would like to accomplish and how you will accomplish them. And once you complete this challenge, you will have set a vision of your past goals and future goals. I would love to hear how your challenge went. Comment and DM me on my Instagram at Another Jacob Rant. Now, if you made it this far, make sure to pew that like button and subscribe to my channel to see some original content. Again, feel free to follow and message me on Instagram, where I will post challenge updates, announcements, and giveaways. And also DM me with your rants, questions for advice, and even a shout out in my video. Details are in the description box below. I just want to say thank you very much for watching and making this channel part of your subscribed playlist. I appreciate each and one of you, and I will see you in the next video. Stay ranting.